Hello and welcome to ATEN's on Virtual Expo. My name is Sorin Oprescu. I'm the Field Application Engineer for Eastern Europe. We're based here in Bucharest, and today we're going to have a journey into the teaching environment, which was heavily affected in February and March when the pandemic started, and we're going to see how schools reacted and how teachers adapted to these new conditions. Our journey actually starts with a science fiction book that was published in 1943. It is called Mimsy Were the Borogoves. Under the pseudonym of Louis Paget it was published. It actually represents two science fiction writers that open us an idea that if our kids, or we, when we are kids, we are playing with advanced toys and different logic that we are used to, our minds can be really open to new concepts, and you will not be conditioned to an already obsolete and very conservative way of teaching. So the book, in very short words, we meet one scientist millions of years into the future that builds a time machine, puts some of his old toys there and some of the tools, and this box with these advanced toys and advanced tools is sent back into the past and arrives in the year 1942, where a boy called Scott discovers them. And Scott is a boy that he can barely talk, but he can talk well enough to understand his parents, and he has a little sister called Emma. Emma is very young, she doesn't talk yet, but Emma, because she's not conditioned to Euclid principles, she's open to learn in any way possible. And together they discover the content of the box, together they experiment and they play with the toys in the box, and they understand a logic far beyond their parents. They understand things that their parents could simply not, because they're conditioned by Euclid principles. And in the end, the kids actually manage to open a portal to the future and jump through the portal in their very own room. And again, because the parents are conditioned to Euclid principles, to the old way of learning, to the old school teaching, they could not understand. And the book is full of elements that for kids, Emma and Scott, are very simple to understand, some puzzles very simple to solve, but their parents find them illogical. It is so illogical that they don't understand why the kids are doing what they're doing and how can they actually achieve a result. And they did achieve a result when they don't understand the logic behind it. That being said, we need to modernize the way our kids are learning. We need to modernize the teaching principles. And of course, the teachers themselves, they need to modernize. The pandemics actually presented us with new challenges. And the challenge was remote teaching and integrating digitalization more and more into the learning process. And we met a lot of platforms. We, together with the teachers, met a lot of platforms. And some of you already are familiar with Google Classroom and Microsoft Teams and Cisco WebEx and of course Zoom. So there's a lot of platforms that you can use to actually have a remote learning environment. But there is so much more to this platform. You can add more stuff to make the lesson interactive, to open the kids to new concepts, to present simultaneously more things. And sadly, as we were able to see, most of the teachers could not adapt to this digitalization, could not adapt to this platform. They don't understand the platforms. It's very hard for them to integrate into this digital world. And what we have seen are Zoom conferences or Microsoft Teams or Google Classroom, Google Meet conferences, the image of the teacher that is no bigger than a coin size or a post office card. And in this environment where sometimes the teacher is sharing the desktop and some lesson and gives some homework, and sometimes even the teacher have no image over its streaming. And again, it is because the teacher is afraid of technology. Most of the teachers are afraid of technology, and they decided to shut down the camera and not even try to share, thinking that they don't know what they're doing and how to do it, and maybe the end results will be very, very bad. What the teachers are doing wrong is the whole concept, the whole philosophy. When the students went into classroom, so let's talk about the previous time before the pandemic. So all our kids are going into classrooms, and the kids are actually entering the field of expertise of the teacher. There is a classroom, there is discipline there, there is a way to address the teacher, there is a way to behave at the lesson, to respond, to be engaged with the lesson, and this is the dominion of the teacher, the classroom experience. He is the authority there. But now we move into the digital world, and in the digital world, most of the teachers feels like strangers, and kids feel this too. Kids adjusted to digitalization much faster. The millennials and the Z generation are already grow up with a phone in their hands, with technology in their hands. They're very accustomed to it, while their teachers may not be. From this point alone, the teachers start to lose the battle for controlling the classroom. They do not have the same authority in the digital environment that they had when there was an in-classroom lesson. And what the teacher need to do is to transform into a vlogger. I know it sounds really weird, but if you transform into a vlogger, if you present like a vlogger does, if you show the same quality of the lesson helped by the digitalization to the students, you will be much more successful than just implying this old philosophy, conservative philosophy that you had until now. And our task, our goal is to ease the transition, to make the teacher feel comfortable as a vlogger. If you embrace the technology, you will definitely have the success. You don't have to fight for the kids' attention. You don't have to impose discipline in an environment that you do not control, because as a teacher, I'm pretty sure you do not control the environment, but you will make the kids be attracted to your lesson in the way you're presenting the lesson. So not just what you're presenting inside the lesson, but how you present the lesson to the children. So just like in chess, it's very easy to say, but it's a little bit more complicated to master. So we decided to start simple. We are going to start with a partner located in Cluj-Napoca. It's a city in the region of Transylvania in Romania. And we are going to present our partner called Select IT, which have a better understanding of the environment, the teaching environment, the schools, the high schools, and the technical colleges that are in this city. So with their knowledge, they managed to start a project to integrate teachers into the digital world little by little. And the setup is amazingly simple. So from ATEN, they took our UC 3020, and the pilot project consists in 50 units, and by now they have extended to more than 210 updated, more than 210. They connected a camera, an HDMI camera, which they put in the back of the classroom. So now this camera, this HDMI camera, far superior to its web camera on the laptop, is able to film the entire classroom. If you run experiments, if you're a chemistry lab or a biology lab, if you run experiments, or if you have geography lessons with large maps or history lessons with large maps, you can film this from the back of the classroom. And also they attach a nice microphone. So if the teacher is interactive with some of the kids that are in the classroom, the other kids that are remote can hear it. Because now we have moved past the 15th of September when the schools already started. We know that the classes started with, in some areas, all the kids in the classroom, some social distancing. But in some areas, the classes started with no kids in the classroom. All of them are remote. And in some schools have a hybrid model. Half the kids are in the classroom and half the kids are at home. And the teacher with this setup would give the same experience to the kids in the classroom as well as the kids that are remote. This is how it looks like. The camera, it's in the back of the classroom, filming in wide angle and good quality. How can you use it more? For instance, you can take the camera and you can zoom in to a certain experiment that is taking place. For instance, if you're a chemistry or if you're a biology, you can zoom into that experiment. Or you can even replace the camera in some scenario with, let's say, a professional microscope, which also have HDMI output. You can take the image with the UC3020, put it inside your laptop, and it will appear like you are having a secondary webcam. And instead of sending your laptop's webcam that is filming you, you just send the experiment, what the microscope is seeing, and you send directly to the kids. In this way, you present relevant materials to your pupils. In a biology lesson, let's take this microscope for instance, there is no need for the kids to see your face. It can be more interesting for them to actually see the image of the microscope, what the microscope is seeing, and you can explain. What does it mean for the future? So how can we expand from here? So now that the teachers are integrated in the online teaching platforms, and now they have learned how to add more stuff to the lesson, like back cameras that's filming all the classroom, or some particular equipments that are doing some experiments. Now we know that we can expand this project even further. So we start with the modern city, which is Cluj-Napoca, probably the most modern city in Romania, and we are hoping to expand to other cities that maybe are not that tech savvy, not that tech geek, but now seeing that this is possible and it's easy to understand technology and it's easy to integrate technology, they will be willing to integrate it as well in their schools. And also you can add more complex equipment, because now the teachers start to be familiarized with the platforms, online platforms to learn. It started to be familiarized working with multiple cameras and adding into the learning process only the camera that matters in some particular time, like the camera that's filming the map for geography, or the camera that's filming the chemistry experiment, or the microscope, etc. Now we can actually mix and match. So we can use something like UC9020 and the future 9040, which is about to come into the market, to actually improve the quality of the lesson. What do I mean by that? For instance, the teacher can have the background, the experiment or the lesson that he's taking, or the explanations, or maybe it's the camera that's filming the board, and also a secondary camera which is in the medallion filming himself. Maybe some explanation that he's giving are more important at that time, or maybe a secondary camera filming something else is more important. So it can mix the images. I would like to thank you for being with us today. I hope you learn a little bit today on how easy it is to implement in schools quality learning, how to digitalize a little bit the teacher's lesson in a way that is meaningful for the students, that they can really learn something useful from the lesson, they can really learn something in a way that makes it attractive for the pupils and the students. That being said, I would like again to thank you for being with us today. I will tell you împreună pentru un mâine mai bun, together for a better tomorrow, and I'm handling this to the next presenter. Thank you very much. I am Sorin Oprescu. Bye.